Hello. I'd like to share with you a recent experience that I had when I was talking to an attendee of one of my online one-on-one sessions where we discuss non-duality, and I help people point themselves back to themselves to experience the love of themselves. And as many of you know, I've written a book entitled Love Outpouring. And during this conversation that I had, there was an outpouring that I couldn't control. And that seems to happen from time to time when you're experiencing this immense peace and love and happiness of yourself and the gratitude that can be experienced when discussing this or realizing this or experiencing the infiniteness of your own being. I'm sharing this with you with the longing that you find trust and comfort in it, that as you let what you've mistaken yourself to be go, that something is there to catch you. And this something is the infinite. It is the eternal. And it's what has been carrying you your entire life. So this love outpouring is just another pointer back to yourself, saying to yourself, come home. I am here. I am here with open arms, waiting to receive you, waiting to receive the love of myself. I hope you find solitude in what you're about to see. Take care. You mean my entire non-duality story, or just turning within, or what?
Turning within, yeah.
My past business was extremely challenging and stressful, and it put me into a realm of fear, where every cell in my body was on fire with fear. And I came into I've been in non-duality for like 7 or 8 years. 3 years ago now? No, so it was 2020, summer of 2020, so about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Prior to 2020, you could say it was all neo-Advaita. I didn't know the direct path. I didn't really know Ramana Maharshi. I didn't really know any of that. And then I came into Rupert Spira, and he's the one that showed me the direct path. Like, he introduced me to myself. And it was just like, oh, that it's right here. I am right here. There's nowhere to go. But that doesn't mean that it led to like a 180 degree shift that never changed. It's like I went in and I bounced back out. But I had experienced it. I knew what was being pointed to was truthful. And so, and then listening to him, he started talking about this thing called self-inquiry. I'm like, hold on. There's something I can do to get there faster? Because in Neo-Advaita, it's just like, this is it. This is all there is. There's nothing to do. It's right here. You're like, that's not working for me. Yeah. So Rupert started talking about this thing called self-inquiry. And once I heard that, it completed a circle somehow. It completed a whole loop of, okay, I came across profound information. I'm all in. I'm all into this information, and now there's something I can do to get there faster.
Yeah.
But when I look back, I needed more truthful knowledge. Like I was on the path of jnana. And so I spent about 1.5 years just listening to Rupert's talks and listening to his guided meditations.
Yeah.
And so I could build like an understanding of what this knowledge was, because I knew if I spent enough time with it, I could so-called get my arms around it and somehow piece it together in a way that created a verbal story, so to speak. Like you could write a book, like what I did, right? So, because you can't organize the infinite. That's why it's so tricky, right? Yeah. That's why you got to spend a lot of time like with it and just see if you can organize it enough in a way for you to get it, to tell a story on non-duality. So I spent about 1.5 years just listening, guided meditations. And I needed that because in my business, it was so troublesome that I would do an hour of meditation with Rupert in the morning before I went to work. And then when I got home, I would do another hour. So I kind of went in calm, and then he calmed me back down at the end of the day. And then I went to one of his retreats and met an Indian man there, and he's been a friend of mine ever since. And he pointed me to Michael James. And Michael James is, he would say he would be a second generation descendant of Ramana Maharshi. So Ramana Maharshi had 2 primary, like side-by-side devotees. One was Muruganar, and the other was Sadhu Om.
Yeah.
And and then Ramana died and left everything to Muruganar. Then when Muruganar died, he left everything to Sadhu Om. And Michael came into Sadhu Om and spent 20 years with Sadhu Om, like rewriting texts from Ramana Maharshi, and so I just listened to Michael. Rupert was more general, like a bigger picture, so to speak, like a storyteller in a way. But Michael gave details. He really honed in on the mechanics of being and the manifestation. And which is all Ramana Maharshi based. I mean, if you go listen to Michael, he will tell you, this isn't me. This is Ramana Maharshi is talking right now. And so, but there was one thing that Michael kept saying over and over and over again. Turn within. Turn within. Turn within. And so I surrendered.
Mm.
And what I realized is that everything that Ramana and Rupert and this whole lineage of knowledge is saying is that it's true.
Yeah.
You will discover everything you've been searching for. And there's just great gratitude for that. I don't know how I got so lucky to be here. These are just tears of joy, tears of gratitude that there is a body of knowledge that does lead to happiness. If you're willing to sacrifice everything you've mistaken yourself to be.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want to share.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You know, that's why I wrote the book. That's why I put out videos. That's why.
Absolutely.
And there's no way for me to prove it. The only way is you experience just me as myself and hope, and hopefully that sends people on a journey. The destinationless journey back to yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
I'm certainly, yes. I'm deeply grateful for you and the point.
So what you just saw there, Chidam,
yeah,
that's a love outpouring. That happens spontaneous.
Yeah.
That there's just at times there's just so much gratitude for the ones that brought it in to my life and all of our lives, and then for the one who shines in our heart as I am. It's like you're done. Life is so-called over in a one way, yet just exploding in another.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's so yeah, I surrendered. That's what Michael was saying, turn with it. So I did.